Hey, Kerfuffle fans, welcome back to the latest episode. And today I have a really special treat for you. She is our first ever fighter that we've ever had on the show. Her name is Crystal van Wyk. She is from South Africa. And I'll tell you what, she is a hoot. We were talking a little bit before the show. She makes me laugh. And she's just a phenomenal person. But before we get started, I want to thank our friends in New Zealand that have been giving us some great reviews on the Apple Podcast. Our Apple Podcast was ranked number 9 in New Zealand. So shout out to our Kiwi friends down there for supporting us. And a big shout out to the people also in the UK that have been supporting us because we just ranked number 122 in the United Kingdom. So thanks again. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And without further ado, welcome to the show, Crystal.
Hi, how are you?
Doing amazing. And
Good.
I'm a bit nervous because I know you're a fighter. So if I say something out of line, please don't reach across the screen and smack me hard
I
because I'm
would
kind of
never
a wimp.
ever do that. I'm actually more of a lover than I am a fighter, but like obviously when I'm in the ring, I've got that on and off switch, so I just change into something else.
So what got you into fighting? You normally, you see a lot of guys and stuff, but women are starting to really get into fighting. What got you into fighting?
Well, I've always been a dancer. I danced my whole life, contemporary and hip hop. And so I've always been like quite an active person, always been in the gym. I taught group fitness as a career. And then, when I moved to the United States, my husband has been a mixed martial arts coach for a very long time. And when I moved to the United States, I kind of hit a depression and a very difficult time. And he just said to me, get your ass in the gym and train. And I did my first, like, I trained and done MMA and Muay Thai before, but not like on a competitive level or anything like that. But when I started to train, like during that time, I really like it grabbed me. Like I realized how much I actually enjoyed it, and I was hooked.
So you're now in the United States by way of South Africa. How long have you been in the United States?
I've been off and on in the United States for about 10 years actually. So we were here for like 3 years, went back to South Africa for like a year or two, went back. So we've been back and forth quite a bit actually. But I'm
Oh.
here to stay. I'm here to stay. I'm not moving ever again.
So how long have you actually been competing now?
I would actually say around 9 years. It could be a little bit longer, but about 9 to 10 years. Yes.
Wow. And
Yeah.
I'm sure your first fight was a little bit nerving when you first got into the ring. You want to tell us a little bit about the first time you learned how to fight and you stepped into that ring?
Yeah. So basically, after 3 months of training, I was thrown into a jiu-jitsu tournament, and people at the gym were like, "Crystal, you're really good at this. You should actually give the fighting thing a crack or do the jiu-jitsu thing." And I was like, you know what? I've got nothing to lose. I like competition. So I was like, sure, like, let me do it. So after 6 months of training, they threw me my first MMA fight. And I loved it. I loved it. I actually did pretty good. I didn't win my first fight, but I did really good against girls that have been training much, much longer than me. So I realized, hey, I'm actually cut out for this.
Where was that fight at? Where did you guys fight?
It was in Charlotte. It was for Fight Lab, Charlotte, South Carolina. And it was Fight Lab. And Fight Lab, that time, they had those really thin, anybody that fought for Fight Lab will know this, those really thin MMA gloves. It wasn't like thick or padded. It was almost like just a piece of leather. So that first punch ever being landed, like, I was like, whoa, this is what it feels like. But I realized I didn't mind it. I didn't mind being hit in the face.
Oh, oof.
Yeah, actually, it kind of like woke me up in a way. And like, I don't know, I enjoy the competition of fighting, and I don't know, I love it. It's fun.
So when you finished that fight, you said you didn't win, but what did you take away from that? Like, did you learn like I need to, learn a little bit more skill, or did you learn it's like, hey, I learned some, let me build on this, or
Yeah. So I only had, like I said, I only had like 6 months of training, and 3 of those months was more jujitsu. And actually, I lost in an armbar, but it was because I was so aggressive and I was having so much fun. I like picked the girl up in the armbar and I slammed her down. And I didn't realize I didn't have to tap in that moment. It was just one of those, like, I wasn't sure what to do kind of thing, I was like, am I caught in this armbar or not? But I realized that, like, I have the potential, I have the talent. I just have to work on my skill, which takes time.
So then, what did you? Your husband was your trainer, or did you have a?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, he actually trained me from scratch. He's the one who got me in that first class and made me do it to overcome my depression. And he encouraged me and taught me everything I know today.
He's a brave man because I wouldn't want to be in the house if there was an argument or something like that.
Oh my gosh, I'm more scared of him than he is of me.
Uh, so, how many fights total do you have under your belt now at this time?
I actually don't know. I would say about over 20 fights. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow.
It could be more, but yeah. And yes, it should be more. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to fight more.
So, where was your last fight at?
It was actually almost a year ago, in Atlanta. It was
Okay.
in KFC. It was a bare knuckle boxing fight, and I won. It was awesome. And it was in her hometown too. So it was a good accomplishment because it was actually a time that I was going through a lot as well, and I didn't really have a gym or a team. It was just my husband coaching me one on one, and so, like, for me, I felt it was quite amazing, like going into that fight and taking the win, at a difficult time. So yeah.
Yeah, the BKFC, that's some rough stuff, man. I've been to a couple of those fights. I was down in Miami when they had one a few years ago, and then over here in Tampa. And that's no playing around, man. Like I know that when you first start, they make you wear gloves, but then after you get so many fights or experience under your belt, they take off the gloves, and that's no playing around. I mean, do
I,
you
I,
notice?
I just FYI, sorry to cut you off, but I never ever wore gloves or. I mean, I never ever had. My first fight was in the small ring with no gloves, and I won too, so it was cool.
Oh wow. Yeah, I mean like you just see everybody's face get so beat up and stuff, but it's
It
so cool.
does,
It's
it
so action
does.
packed.
But you don't feel it. You don't feel it in the moment, actually. I don't feel anything. I just, like, I don't know, it goes so fast. It's a lot of fun though. It looks quite brutal, and you do your face. My face has been messed up quite a bit. But like, it's lacerations, and 3 days you're completely healed. But it's so much fun. It's the best, most fun I've had in 10 minutes in my life. It's very addicting.
So when you go into the fight and stuff like that, when you're building yourself up for the fight, what's the one thing that really motivates you? Because I see some of these people walk out like, and you can tell they're in a trance. They're ready for that fight. And other people you can tell they're a little distracted. What
Yeah.
motivates you?
When I'm walking out for the fight.
Yes.
So I'm before a fight, like, it's a 6 week camp. You don't always have the how can I say, privilege of having a 6 week camp, but I usually train really, really hard for all of my fights. I put in the work, I'm dedicated, and not a lot of people have that motivation and dedication. And so for me, before a fight, I don't have I'm very confident because I know I put in the work, and I know when you put in the work, there's no ways it cannot pay off. But I'm very focused. I put earphones in, and I put music on, and all that time of visualization, because I do that, like, seeing the fight, seeing how I walk out, all of that is like in real time now. And so I feel laser focused on going out there and doing my thing. And what motivates me or excites me walking out is that this is happening. I don't know, it's a surreal feeling. But music, I always play music, and it kind of gets me going.
So when you were talking about a little bit before about your routine and how you work out, what is like a fighter that's fighting BKFC, what is your routine to get in shape and what gets you physically able to step into that ring and do your best?
Uh, Basically dying for 6 weeks. Now I'm joking. Basically, what I do is I have a routine. I do in the morning a 5 mile run.
Wow.
But and if I can't do that 5 mile run in the morning, I do it some time either before or my training sessions in the evening. But every day for 6 days a week, I'm doing a 5 mile run. Okay, that's step number one. The run is the most important thing for me because besides the fact that it's working on your physical cardio, it mostly works for my mental. I really like to work and train my mental game quite a bit because I feel like that's quite important and very underestimated. So I work on my mental game, and how I do that is I run, I put my earphones on, and I'm focusing on the fight. I'm focusing on what I do, how I do it. Just I visualize that fight every single day for 6 weeks. Okay, so I start off with a 5 mile run, and then I'll go back to the gym and we'll do strength and conditioning work, and then I will go home and I'll recover, or I'll be I actually work, but I actually have the privilege of not having any distractions for this fight camp. So I'll be able to put in more work. And then obviously I go back to the gym around 5, 6 o'clock. And then we are putting in a one-on-one pad work session and boxing and bare knuckle specific training. So at least 2.5, 3 hours in the evening.
Wow.
Um, so I'm putting in the work every day, 6 days a week, and pedal to the metal.
What about your diet through this whole thing?
Oh yeah. I must say I don't have to cut weight for this division that I fight in. Um, Sometimes like my last fight camp, which the fight didn't end up happening, but I didn't cut weight at all, and I came in like under weight actually. So I don't, the only thing that I do is eat clean. I like to eat clean during the camp because for my training, I don't want to feel sluggish. I don't want to feel like I've overeaten or too much sugar. So I try to eat as clean and healthy as possible. Things that are fueling me for my training. And then I make sure I get all my vitamins and BCAAs and creatine and all my good things in to help me with endurance.
So who was one of your toughest fights that you've ever had?
Oh, this is a good question. I know exactly which fight that is. She could never forget it. It was a girl in South Africa. It was an MMA fight, and her name's Juliet Uka. She's a very tall girl. Me and her are actually really good friends. She's a policeman in Nigeria, and this chick is a beast. I mean, I think she's like 7 or 8 and 0 right now. Undefeated, professional. She fights in PFL. She's really, really good. And I just remember not knowing what to do with this fight because she had an answer for everything. She just knew how to. She was much, much taller, but she knew how to use her reach against me. And even when I went to try to go through for those takedowns, I just couldn't get her. She was just so good. So yeah, that was my toughest fight. I'll never forget it.
Now, did she win or did you win?
She won. She won. She won. She won on points. It wasn't anything. But I just, yeah, there's levels to this game, and it's not that our skill level is different. It's just that it was her night, and I must say that is the fight that have helped me grow better, and made me want to focus on my striking, because I was focusing so much on my jiu-jitsu at the time, and I realized with her striking being so good that that's something I wanted to work on. So yeah.
Now what is harder Is it MMA or BKFC? What is the harder one to do?
I honestly think MMA is much harder. Why? Because you got the ground game, you got all these things that you have to worry and think about, and you've got to work like multiple different things. Whereas with bare knuckle, it's also MMA is 15 minutes and bare knuckle is only 10 minutes. So I feel like it's short rounds. You only have hands to worry about. And the thing is, if you're training your hands, you don't even worry about that. You're just letting your hands fly come fight night, So I find it much easier
Now, have
and
you
much
ever
more fun.
much more fun with MMA just because of the being able to get on the ground and stuff like that?
No, I actually think bare knuckles much more fun
Oh,
because you
bare
don't,
knuckle.
yeah, because you don't think about all the other things. I feel like in MMA, I have to be like, oh, that person go for a takedown, or you have to think about all these things. So I don't really get to enjoy myself as much as I do with bare knuckle.
Now, have you ever fought international, like since you've been in the United States? Have you gone? I mean, you talked about fighting in South Africa, but have you ever
Yeah.
fought anywhere else?
Honestly, no. I've actually only fought in South Africa and United States. I have not fought anywhere else. I would have loved to fight in Thailand. I was there for a fight camp, but I was there for an MMA fight camp, so I couldn't. They asked me to actually. I trained at Tiger Muay Thai, and they actually approached me and asked me if I wanted to fight.
Oh, wow.
I so badly wanted to do it, but I couldn't because it was a week or 2 weeks out from my MMA fight. So yeah,
Wow. I mean,
well, I'll still do it.
and the crowd gets so into it. I mean, like you see people from all walks of life at these events and stuff like that, and the crowd is so into it. I mean, imagine when you're in the ring, do you soak up the crowd what they're when they're cheering, or is it you just so mentally focused on what you're doing, it kind of the crowd you don't hear them?
Yeah, for me, like when I walk out for the fight, I feel like I don't hear or see anything. I'm so like focused that as soon as I climb into that ring, everything goes silent for me. I actually feel like I don't know, I can't explain it. It's everything goes silent, everything goes quiet. I don't see anybody, I don't hear anybody. It's
So
pretty cool.
I know it's like
It's weird.
like what's that movie, The Legend, the Bagger Vance, where he's golfing and the whole people disappear and he's able to hit the golf ball because he
Oh,
doesn't see.
yes. Yeah, because of that, it's that laser focus, I think. I have that ability. I'm ADHD too, so I can't focus on too many things at once. So, so I'm just like, opponent, there, that's it. That's all I can think about.
So now, if you could meet one person in MMA, we'll get on BKFC in a second, but if you could meet one person in MMA that really inspires you, somebody that you would, like to learn from, somebody you'd like to spend some time with and watch, who would that be?
Mm, I have two people. Um, Obviously I've got my boxing person, but I would love to meet John Jones and Holly Holmes, which is very at this point is very attainable. I could hopefully meet them soon, but I haven't actually met them, and they like John Jones is my favorite fighter. Um, and I like Holly Holmes too. I think she's brilliant,
Now,
especially her first back in the day, like her first fights and stuff.
now, how about with BKFC?
With BKFC, I feel like I've met all the people I wanted to meet actually. Um, I don't have anybody that I haven't really met and that I desire to meet. Not that I know
So when do we get to
of.
see you back in the ring again?
December 20th. I don't even know if I'm allowed to be saying that right now, but yeah, December 20th, I'll be back.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
And can you tell us the location, or you're not allowed to tell us?
I can, of course I can. Mohegan Sun, sorry. Sorry.
That's okay. He's into it too.
So sorry. Oh my God, sorry.
So you were saying where?
Mohegan Sun, Connecticut.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And
And
that's
you're
with BKFC.
okay. And have you been hitting it pretty hard, or you're just starting to get into it now, or
I've actually, the crazy thing is this whole entire year, I've been on fight camp because I've had fights booked this whole year and things that have happened, fighters have fallen through. And like, I've literally had so many opponents pull out, so many things, freak things happen that I never got to fight. Um, and so I've actually been training in fight camp this whole year. I've been pushing it quite hard. I've had my little, I want to say breaks because I've not taken any breaks. I didn't take any breaks, but I take it easy in between just so that I don't burn myself out by the time I actually have a fight. So, but I'm like started camp on Monday and I'm like already fit and strong. Like I could fight tomorrow. I've been ready. So,
and camp is the 6 days a week that you were talking about, right?
yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. You're a machine. I don't think I could do that. I mean, I was
You
in the
can do
army.
anything you put your mind to.
Yes.
We do not talk about I cannot do that. Yes, you can.
When I was in the army, I used to exercise a lot, but I never got into the fighting type of stuff. And well, not that type of fighting stuff.
I mean, it's not for everybody. It isn't for everybody. I think it's a specific kind of person, It takes I don't know, I want to say delusional person, but it takes some different kind of character or person to actually enjoy the sport and to want to do the sport. Um, yeah, I just happen to be one of them.
So now, are you responsible for getting your own sponsors, or do you have sponsors that work with you now?
I have one or two sponsors, and I would love to get some more sponsors on board, of course. I am responsible for getting my own sponsors. So, um, my husband, he's also my manager. He helps me a lot with that side of things. So, yeah.
What's a good place, like if somebody's watching our show right now and says, "Hey, I want to sponsor Crystal for her fight." Where's a good place or a good way that they can reach out to you and see if, sponsorship aligns with what you're looking for and what they're looking for?
Yeah, they can get me on my social media. I'm on Facebook under Crystal van Wyk, Van Wyk, however you want to say it. And then on Instagram, I'm Crystal_Van_Wyk. So, I mean, potentially you could get hold of me on my social media. And yeah, I would love to get some more sponsors and we can collaborate.
And what type of sponsors are you looking for? Like gym type of sponsors, personal trainer, equipment sponsors? What are you looking for?
I think the sponsorship that I'm looking for is more, I would say more towards supplements, but mainly money sponsors so that I can cover the cost of my blood work and I have to do an MRI and a couple of things, leading towards the fight. It costs a lot of money to pull everything off at the end of the day. So, yeah.
And the boxing commission, that's like through the boxing commission makes you do
Yeah.
that to clear you. That,
Yeah.
that's one thing. Now, like I it's interesting you stumbled upon that. Like, what are the prerequisites for you to become certified to basically, most people don't know that this is all through a boxing commission. Like, so what are the clearances and stuff that you need to have before a fight?
Yeah, so we have a bunch of blood work that we have to do. Hepatitis B and A, I think. I know they do a bunch of blood work tests, and then that we do eye. So you have to have a dilated eye test, which is quite an intense eye test to make sure that visually everything is good, and and then the new thing that we have to do now is an MRI or and a neurological test, I think. There's actually quite a few things, They're just making sure that we're safe, I guess, which is good. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, they don't want anybody to die in the ring.
No. And I think there's been things that have happened, So
Yeah.
I think safety is always important.
I was at one fight a few years ago, and it was two guys fighting. I couldn't tell you who they were, but one of them actually cold cocked another guy when he wasn't looking. He went to walk away and he punched him in the back of the head. And I never saw the officials and the management run in the ring so fast. They actually sent the police in the back to talk to the guy because the guy punched the guy in the back of the head after the was a like a
That's
break in
actually
the
quite
fight.
intense. You're not allowed to hit at the back of the head because it can be quite dangerous, you know. So yeah, I mean, in boxing, people get a lot more concussions as well, and people actually die with severe weight cuts and stuff like that.
Yeah. Wow. So
Yeah.
if you could go back in time and talk to a young Crystal and tell her about what you're doing now, what would be the one thing you would tell, a 12-year-old, your 12-year-old self?
I would tell my 12-year-old self, to really believe in yourself, because at 12 years old, I feel like that is one thing. I never really believed in myself. I always doubted myself. I never thought um I could achieve what other people could. I was always like in trouble as a kid, and always getting the bad end of the stick, as you would say, the black sheep of the family, so if I could go back and tell my 12-year-old self, Crystal, you can do it all, I would tell him that, because um I totally believe in myself now, and I wish I did earlier, you know because I could have done a lot more when I was younger if I believed in myself. So
And what would you tell the young women, young girls that look up to you as a role model? I mean, there's people that look up to you and say, "I want to be like Crystal someday. I want to do what she does." What would you tell those young girls or young ladies? What advice would you give them?
I would tell them to never give up. The advice I would give is that, like, as a woman in a male dominated sport, you you feel you feel like we have all these things, like, I don't know, like, men are stronger and this and that. And it's true, men are stronger, and I never compare myself to a man. But I really believe in believing in yourself, number one, and never giving up. If you fall, to get back up every single time, get back up. It doesn't matter how many times you fall, but the key is to get back up. And I never learned anything from my wins, but I learned a lot through my losses. And I really believe that women, they doubt themselves a lot, especially being an only woman in a male dominated sport, or maybe the only woman at the gym, or, you always feel like, I don't know, intimidated or whatever. But we shouldn't feel like that, because we can achieve a lot. So to all the women out there, never give up. Always get back up every time, every time.
So now I always like to wrap the session up with this one last question. I know you're fighting. I know you're fighting next month, but what do we see from Crystal in the future after this fight?
I think you'll see a lot more of me. I think this is the most important fight of my career. Um, I feel like this fight will give me the momentum to climb the ladder and the ranks quickly, and, hopefully go for that title shot at some point. I won't do it prematurely like a lot of people do. I will take my time going for the title shot, only because when I do something, I want to make sure I do it properly. So um, that is what you can see in the future. I'm definitely going to go for that title. Not just yet, but you'll definitely be seeing more of me climbing the ladder, fighting, and putting myself out there. I want
Well,
to at least fight 4 times next year.
well, I know one day we're going to see that championship belt around your waist.
Oh, yes, you are. Yes, you are. One way or another.
Well, Crystal, we'd like to thank you for being on today's show. It was a pleasure and an honor to have you. You've motivated me now to go out and do
Oh,
some
really?
stuff.
Thank you very much. You're amazing.
And if you guys like what you saw, make sure to like, share, and subscribe and click that notification bell. Go check out Crystal on her social media, which she talked about. We'll leave it in the description below. And if you're somebody that's interested in sponsoring her or getting in contact with her, some sort of a deal for her fighting, please reach out to her. If you can't reach out to her, get a hold of us and we'll get a hold of her and we'll connect the two of you, because I know that great things are coming from her in the future. So again, make sure to like, share, and subscribe and click that notification bell. You can find us on YouTube. We're on Rumble. We're on Spotify. We're on Amazon. We're on Apple. We're also on Instagram and Facebook, and then also on TikTok. So until next time, have fun storming the castle.
Thank you very much. Hey, have an amazing day further.